Hello, hello, hello. Starting a little late. We had some technical difficulties. This is Ray Felix of Bronx Heroes. My hair is a mess. Here we are. We're actually broadcasting almost an hour later than we should have. And that's because shit happens. You guys know that, right? Shit happens. So here I am with shit happening. Ceiling today was raining indoors. So I had to get the plumber to, you know, come and fix this stuff, It was just like, what's going on? So here we are. We're live. We're delayed. We're supposed to be helping out Sam Vera with his new Kickstarter campaign. So in a few minutes, these guys will come on and we'll start talking about how to run a successful Kickstarter campaign. So that's what we're looking forward to. Sam's not here yet in the room, but he will be. If you'd like to make any comments, Facebook for some reason has difficulty with the comments. So please use Twitch or YouTube, our YouTube channels, Bronx Heroes, Comic-Con.live. Please subscribe. We are trying to get those subscribers. It's good to monetize. It's not my keen number one goal, but it'd be nice, right? It'd be nice to have a little cheddar from YouTube. But aside from that, how are you? I hope you guys are doing well, surviving this COVID second wave of these strains that are coming out. They have all these names like from G.I. Joe, like the Delta variant, it's like the Omega variant, you can have all these different variants coming out. Apparently there's 4. You hear everything about the Delta, but they have these other ones that are coming out. Wait for the Omega. That'll be the worst one. People will be dropping dead like flies. It's like, I shouldn't joke about it. But I guess that's the only way we can keep our sense of humor and our sanity is by, having a laugh. We have to laugh at our tragedy. We learned that from Shakespeare. So for those who don't know, I recently went to Los Angeles, California, and that was really fun. That was really, really good. Had a great time. I needed that. I mean, usually I would go during San Diego Con, but San Diego Con was at home live again this year. So that was, it wasn't, I watched some of that last night. I was up to like 4 a.m. watching some of the panels. I mean, it's like, why? But some of them were really good. I mean, I would say check out the Will Eisner Metropolis panel. That was really good. The diversity panel is always good. What else? I saw the panel of what they're planning to do with Superman. Oh God, please stop. Just kill him again. Stop with the Superman stories already. He's old. And apparently, Superman's losing his powers. It's a new series called Superman the Authority by Grant Morrison. I love Grant Morrison, but I actually read the book and I was like, just like his Green Lantern was, little, nothing really home to write about. I love his Invisibles. I love his Animal Man. His run on Superman, his first run on Superman, his run on Batman was really good. His like hardcover on Wonder Woman was okay. That one's like no one really talks about that, but that was actually pretty good. He actually made Steve Trevor Black in that story. I thought that was pretty interesting. But Grant Morrison's a good writer. He's always shaking it up, and unlike other writers that don't take risks and chances, he literally throws the baby out with the bathwater when he's writing. And I mean, it's great. I mean, The Invisibles, was a phenomenal series, which was, an inspiration for The Matrix. A lot of people don't know that, but there's a lot of things where that The Matrix stole, like X animation and this female author's script as well. That was also an inspiration for it, but a lot of cool stuff. And I got to promote my man Clayton Patterson, while we're waiting for Sam and his boys to show up, Clayton Patterson, great photographer, great artist. He and I are working on a graphic novel together now. And he has a great store on Etsy.com. If you're ever on Etsy, you got to check out his stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff is selling out, so I mean, he had like 11 different styles of hats, but if you check out his Etsy account, you'll see that he has a lot of cool stuff that you just check out. If you never heard of Clayton Patterson, make it your business to find out who he is. I mean, he's phenomenal. And I'll share some of his stuff real quick. Let me switch my screen over. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. We can look at Clayton Patterson. We'll have him on again. He and I have collaborated in the past with Julian Village and a number of artists. That was great. But I mean, he has this great website. Oh, this is his orders. Go to his store. So if you go to his store, I mean, look, he has these great hats. And Supreme recently did a video on him that got like 300,000 hits in like 30 minutes. So he's got these great hats, great designer hats. He's the godfather of the Lower East Side, if you don't know. These are what's left. And he's also an author. He's written books with Jose Cochise Quiles, who is, Satan Sinner Nomad gang member. I believe he might have been a gang leader as well, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but read the book and you'll find out. Wild Style, he's also, partially responsible for Wild Style coming out, those whole tattoo festivals that were happening. Captured, his video was incredible too. Tells you the whole story of his police brutality and going on Oprah Winfrey. He's kind of like before the cell phone, was walking around with a video camera and filming shit going down, in the Lower East Side, specifically the police attacking homeless people and starting a riot in the Lower East Side. So, something to think about, something to check out, and oh, wow, thank you. And that's my wife. So check these out on his Etsy store. Clayton LES is a store. And also he has a website you can check out as well. If you go to his, it's a website here somewhere. You click that, ClaytonPattersonLES.com. There should be a link in here somehow. I don't know how you do that, but it's in there. Click on it. You got people feedback, some of his hat designs that are sold out, bags that are selling out. And he had a Supreme line, so Supreme did a whole thing on him as well. So check it out if you can. Let's see his Supreme. Let's go to Supreme real quick. Supreme line as well. Looks like Sam Vera is not going to make it. So we'll have to reschedule. That's okay. All right. Hold on a second. Come on, dude. I'm just telling him, come on, man, you're young. Yeah. Oh, so Supreme.com. Let's see. Supreme. Oh, this is wrong. It's not Supreme.com. It's Supreme. Look, Sam Vera is not going to make it. It's my fault, but shit happens. Let's see if he's here. Oh, there he goes. We'll get back. There we go. So Sam Vera, let's stop sharing. Hey, Sam, what's up, man?
Well, consider you made me wait for over an hour.
Sorry.
What kind of racket do you got going on here, buddy? It's like I'm sending out press releases that would be at the show at 9:00.
I know. We're an hour. It's like exactly an hour.
This guy's in a restaurant eating with his family. I'm gonna kill you.
No, well, I'm telling you, like the ceiling fell down. We had to get some workers in here. It really threw all the schedule off for the whole day.
Killing me,
Yeah.
killing me.
I just had to feed them before.
Everybody went to sleep. This guy decides to go on the graveyard shift. Don't even the people we're gonna be talking to are truckers.
It's okay, man. We got the midnight crew here. I don't know about your Facebook. My shit's ringing off all night. People are always commenting or making things at 3:00 in the morning, 4:00 in the morning. Because I guess everyone's in different parts of.
Usually the fiends coming from the clubs.
Yeah, exactly. I apologize, man. Yeah, I didn't expect the ceiling to come down like that.
I just left the JD show just now.
That's what I figured. Because you had a schedule, right? Like
Yeah.
So
what's up?
We can make this short and sweet, and then reschedule if you want for a longer version. Like if you want to redo it tomorrow night or something, we can do that. But you're here, so tell us all about your project. We'll do a part 2.
Hey, Pasa, did you paint your wall?
No, my wall's always been red. What it is I have one wall that's white, and I want one wall that's red. So I got.
Okay. Maybe because you have the camera at a different angle.
Yeah, I switch it up. Sometimes they have it on that wall with the art, and that was white. And, yeah. So
Are you gonna be at EternoCon?
No. When is that?
EternoCon? That's the 7th and 8th.
No, I haven't really paid attention to that stuff. That's in Long Island, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if
that'll be my last show on the East Coast because I moved to Texas in a couple weeks.
You're moving to Texas?
Yeah, man. You haven't watched my show.
You're part of the Rican Exodus? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the East Coast is tripping, bro. The East Coast is acting up. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. It's like, New York can't get it straight. Lockdown, no lockdown, all this other stuff.
In Texas, there's no lockdown, but people are getting sick left and right. I was just in California. Nobody's wearing a mask, man. Nobody.
I was in Texas. Nobody was wearing masks.
Yeah, nobody's wearing a mask anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's just like I'm just done. I need a change of pace. I mean, I grew up here my whole life, so it would be a big change. But I'm excited about it.
What part of Jersey are you in now?
I'm in Hackensack.
And you grew up there?
No, I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, and then I've been in Jersey.
Raised in Queens.
I've been in Jersey for 24 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I understand, man. I mean, I moved upstate, but I think I'm going to be leaving sometime soon, before 2023.
Yeah, so right after EternoCon. EternoCon wraps up on the 8th, and on the 11th, I drive out to Texas.
Are there a lot of shows in Texas?
Oh, a lot. Tons.
Really?
There's one in September. I can't do it. It's Fan Expo in Dallas. It's a 3-day event. It's big. I just won't be able to do it because I'll be unpacking over there and selling my current home simultaneously.
So you bought a house up there. A friend of mine was trying to get me to buy a house. He bought a house up there.
Yeah. So I close next week over there.
Well, you know that your house now is probably worth more than $100,000 above the market now because
yeah.
A friend of mine bought the house 2 years ago. He has renters in it. He lives in LA.
Yeah, my house goes on the market on the 6th of August.
And it's I think he bought it for $400,000, and now it's worth $500,000.
Yeah, my buddy of mine, he lives further up in Jersey. He sold his house for 80% above what the value was. 80% markup. That's crazy.
Yeah, this place needs a lot of work. Like like the ceiling's falling apart. But I did my roof like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I just had the roof done. Yeah. That's because the storm this year destroyed my roof. Yeah. I had my plumbing redone in this place, so I'm like, I'm done. This is a 100-year-old house, and it needs a lot of upkeep. So I was like, you know what? I need a modern house, and I don't want snowstorms anymore. The snowstorm this past year was brutal.
It was brutal. Oh my God.
I just hope I don't.
So you got this past year? Because I got 8 feet. It was crazy.
It was. Yeah, that's back to back. So like the first snowstorm was about 4 feet, and then the next snowstorm. So when you get your path, and then 2 days later another storm comes in, and you have to dig it again. Oh, it was stressful.
Remember, it snowed in Texas for the first time ever this year, and then they had the power grid knocked.
That was White Walkers.
Yeah,
That was an anomaly. That was some crazy stuff. I
yeah,
mean,
that was weird. That's
that was
global warming.
I don't know. They were coming for Jon Snow. They were like, no, Game of Thrones ain't over. They were coming. It was crazy.
Nowhere is safe, man. Like I see myself living in California in a few years. But you got to get accustomed to the fires or something. You got to make sure you don't buy property where
No, I
this.
live by a lake. So the house that I bought is 4 houses away from one of a really huge lake where people go boating and stuff. So and I'm on a hill, so
awesome,
which is also even good too. So if the lake, there's a rainstorm and the lake overflows, I'm on a hill. So yeah, it's just a beautiful area, small town, 69,000 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited. To
it sounds not small enough. You're like town capacity 200.
Yeah, it's nice, and everything, is one road into our town, and just like 5 minutes from my house is everything, Kroger's and the DMV, everything is right there, so it's and it's a nice, beautiful, well manicured neighborhood, and it's
Catch a lawnmower already?
No. I got the landscaper guys are gonna take care of that stuff. I got too much I have 3 layers of hill. There's no way I'm going to be mowing that stuff. Right. Hell no. I'll do my yard because I can do my yard because it's flat. But the front, no. The landscapers, I make connections with the neighbors. Like, who do you guys use? But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. My wife's looking forward to it. We have a big yard because the yard that we have here, it's cemented and it's small.
Right.
And have dogs. So now we have a big yard and it's grass, and they can go run around and be, and play and have fun.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, before you leave to Texas, come for a visit.
Yeah, well, I'll be at the Eternal Con, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you can come to my house and have a barbecue. Bring the 4 horsemen so we can see each other in person.
I know, right? Yeah, we're actually doing our last live show from this studio, so that's why everything looks bare, because I took everything off the walls because I've been packing.
I can see that, man. Wow, you didn't paint the white though.
Huh?
Paint the white.
I'm not painting the white. Jeez. I'm selling as is. That's the deal. I already I put enough money. They got a new roof. They got new plumbing system. They got new toilets. They got new electrical. As is. I don't care what you find.
Right.
You take it as is, and I'm out.
Make sure they don't find the ex-girlfriends in the basement.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so we're doing our last live show, which is episode 300, which is pretty fitting.
Wow, you're on the move, man.
On the 4th. Yeah, so on the 4th, we're doing episode 300 in studio with the crew.
I slowed down because a lot of people just cancel all the time. I mean, you never cancel. I fucked up on you. But most people cancel like last minute. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we've had a couple. I have a rule. Because if you reach out to me and we book you, that means I have to create the collateral. I do the marketing for the show. I get everything in the system. I get the graphics, all that stuff into my Stream Deck to be able to punch up your images, all that stuff. If I do all that work and you cancel on me, and you want to rebook, you're gonna wait a year. That's the way I do it.
Get done.
Because I just put in all that work and you couldn't even be on time. So and especially with the fact that we are booked all the way through November right now. So
I'm on your shit list now.
Huh?
I'm on your shit list now.
I wasn't gonna come on. I was like this close. So, I'm tired.
This guy.
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. What the hell? It's like he's talking to truckers. It's like, what is it? Is it Billy Bob? What route are you? I'm on 9.
No, let's do it right. Tomorrow we'll do it right. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it prime time. You want to do
tomorrow I'm on Pops Van Zandt.
Okay.
Then Tuesday I'm on the Cajun, Raging Cajun.
So after you're done, when your schedule is clear.
Yeah, I'm like, it's like, and then Tuesday I also have 2 guests that we're recording, and then Wednesday we have 2 guests, and I'm packing. So because the pods come Tuesday,
you do the pod thing, and they truck it over to Texas.
Yeah, so I have the pods for 6 days. I have 2 pods for 6 days, and I load it up, and then they come pick it up, and it'll get to Texas by the 13th. So I will get in my car and drive.
That costs you a lot, man. That's like
it was 70% cheaper than movers.
Really?
The movers jacked up. Yeah, if I would have gone with a moving company, it would cost me anywhere between $18,000 to $25,000.
That's nuts.
They were all jacking up the prices because everybody is moving. Like the whole world is moving right now.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
And so,
but they don't realize they're in the cage still.
Yeah,
This is how far you go.
I cut that price down by 70% by doing pods.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so
because I have
I'm loading it up with Jonathan. Because I got everything. It's first floor right out the door, and then Jonathan is coming with me out to Texas. We're gonna drive out there. We're doing a straight run. Wow. I'm doing 8 hours. Then he's doing 8 hours. Then I'm doing 8 hours, and he's doing that.
Is he gonna live with you or?
No, he's just coming out. He wants to hang out. He's gonna help me unload, and my brother-in-law and his buddies are gonna meet us there at the new house, and they're gonna help us unload. And then Jonathan's gonna hang out for about a week, and then he's gonna bus it back. He doesn't want to fly back. He's gonna bus it back. He wants to go Greyhound. I was like, all right, that's 2 days.
For some reason, like Dustin Hoffman and Midnight Cowboy just came into my mind.
Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, he's
gonna be on the bus dreaming about mixing drinks.
Yeah. So he's gonna come out there, chill for a little bit, and and then I gotta set up my new studio. So that's gonna be.
That's gonna take time.
I just built this one. And so now I got to set up a new one. So
yeah, man, it's crazy. Well, I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. So tell me about your Kickstarter, man. What do you think has been helpful in your Kickstarter so far of like getting people to support and stuff? Like what works for you?
What worked is that promoting it months before we launched it. What worked was the live launch party. For the Kickstarter because we were funded in 2 hours,
great.
And that was a first for us.
That was fun. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was freaking crazy. And so I just think it's just really just the networking and getting the word out and constant posting. I post every single freaking day.
Jonathan says, "What's up, brothers?"
Johnny boy, what channel he's on? I don't see the comments.
I don't. Yeah, he's on the Facebook. For some reason, the Facebook doesn't show the comments.
That's crazy. What's up, Johnny?
Yeah. So yeah, I told you he's a trucker. John's a trucker. See, he's here.
Yeah. John's my road dog. So I think that's what it is. I think it's just a combination of promoting in advance. Building, I think Cast the Crazies help get people to recognize that we are more than just podcasters, and then Forbidden for the cats that were around when I first launched Forbidden a decade ago. A lot of them came back.
In a decade, wow.
Yeah, I wrote the book in 2000. So
oh shoot! So you're kind of like in my boat. Like I'm doing like World Without Superheroes for like I put 20th anniversary because that's when we went to print in color. But technically, I wrote it in '93, published it in '95, in black and white when I was a student in SVA. So it's like 28 years,
Yeah.
It's freaking nuts. It's just like these passion projects, they become our life,
Yeah, this is definitely that one. And so now it's just about getting it to, we funded Go. We're 207% to go, but we're only at 33 backers. And I'd like to get it to as many hands as possible because I know that if you read it, you're going to want to get the follow-up issue. And so that's my goal is how, trying to get it. That's why I'm doing this run. With the podcast because it isn't the dollar value that's it's the number of people. I wanted to get it into as many readers as hands as possible. So which is why I threw in this incentive. If we get to 50 backers, which we are 17 backers away from 50, everybody from $10 and up, and the $10 pledge is a digital reward. Everybody
from the fine print this time.
Everybody, I know. Everybody at the, but look, but here's the catch. So if you pledge at $10, which is a digital, which means you don't get anything physical, and I make the 50 backers, you will get a physical Darkness limited edition card, trading card. So that digital backer at $10 and up will get that. So I know that not everybody can do $25 or $30, but and so for the people who are doing digital, you will get if we get to 50 backers, you'll get that card. So I said, let me do an incentive for the digital crew that can't afford to, for whatever reason, maybe they're backing multiple campaigns, or maybe it's not in the budget or whatever, but they really are interested in it. So here's my way of saying, you know what? I recognize that. I'm going to throw in an incentive, help me get to 50. And if you pledge at $10, you'll still get that card. So you'll have something in the mail.
That's awesome. That's great.
So I'm just trying to do something for everybody.
So we got 2 people watching. It might be Jonathan and somebody on Twitch, but you guys have questions, feel free to ask go through YouTube Live or Twitch and say something. Speak to us.
Say what you need to say.
So I mean, I've been a little bit of a chicken. Like I did like Facebook, not Facebook. What do you call that? Kickstarter many years ago.
Right.
And I mean, I actually did I did a Kickstarter campaign setup, but I never launched it. I launched an Indiegogo instead because of the quotas that you had to make to get the money. It wasn't that good, but I've been telling myself I need to get a Kickstarter, especially since I'm working with Trevor now. He wants to do Black Power full time, and I'm just like, well, I can't afford that. That's just facts. I thought, hey, if we do a Kickstarter, then we can do that.
Right.
He's a professional. You pay a professional rate. I mean, but you get top quality work. So I mean, and if you want that to keep going, you got to keep it. You got to get the money flowing. So I'm trying to get my muscles together to get my brain into this Kickstarter mode. And I listen to you guys, and I listen to your radio show and listen to all your advice.
Well, it's the one thing about the Kickstarter is the pre-work.
Right.
The pre-work will determine how successful or not you're going to be when you launch a campaign, and it has to be months out. If you do 6 months out and promote and say, you know what, if it's like April and you say, you know what, October 5th, we're launching this, and every day you're reminding people October 5th, and you're putting out snippets and previews and all that other stuff, that's going to help create that recognition and get the awareness out there.
Exactly.
I think most new indies fail because they don't promote. They're only on one social media platform, whether it's Facebook, and they don't have a following, and they just assume because they look at these guys that have a following that they're doing $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be success. And then the second part of it is they goal too high. You're an unknown. No one knows who you are. You didn't do any prep work, and you put $5,000 as your goal. You set yourself up to fail. Right. And so I think the prep work is critical. And then you need to build a database, an email list, and a database. And what's helping me are the conventions. We just did ZoloCon. That helped because I got a bunch of people.
ZoloCon, yeah. So what was that? Was that PA?
Yeah, it was amazing. And we had people sign up to my newsletter on the website because of it.
Smart.
So the more people that you can get, the more easier you can communicate. So right now I have a pull list of about 85 people. And so I want to build that to the thousands. And the only way to do that is relevance, online presence, and then physical presence at the cons.
Yeah.
What happened? What's this?
Fucking Jonathan. When will you bless us with Arc, another Ray creation? Come on, man. Well, to answer your question, Jonathan, we have Omari DaCosta and George is here listening to on Facebook. To answer your question, I was supposed to have 2 conventions this summer. I wanted to do one, Bronx Heroes, Women in Comics, and I didn't promote it as much. I was promoting it, if you guys remember, in January, but then it died down because the people, I had 2 spaces, 2 separate event spaces, and the folks, I'm not going to mention their names, but the folks, they're all good people, it's COVID, people were a little worried. They thought I was jumping the gun, but now look, there's shows everywhere, right? So my instincts were right. They wanted to do like half mini shows with 12, 20 vendors. And I was like, no, let's go big. Let's do it. Let's do it right. And then finally it got pushed back from July into August. And now they're talking about September, October, because they still feel uneasy, Sometimes I guess, maybe I should have went with a Republican I could have done it in April because it's like, I understand that if we're vaccinated, I mean they are the Delta variant and all these other variants, but at the same time, the only way you're going to actually defeat this virus is by exposure. So I mean, yes, you could catch this virus variant, but if you got the vaccine in the first place, I think you're okay. And I was going to check vaccine cards anyway. So that was going to be a preliminary thing that you had to be vaccinated to attend. But, you have to respect people and their weariness. It's their space. You have to respect their time, their timeline. So it didn't happen. I kind of wish they told me ahead. They told me back in April, like, no, this is not a good idea.
Right.
Then I could have just went and found a space or rent a space but here we are, and we're almost in August, and no show. I mean, they're like, oh, how about September, October? It's like, no, you don't understand. You have Comic-Con, you got these other shows. They've been promoting for months. I don't do things with 2 months on end. I need a whole year, like you said. You need to prep these things, get these things ready and rock and rolling. But that's what it is, when you're not in the city and you're not in the mix of it and you're on the outskirts, kind of like where I'm in the middle of nowhere, like Gilligan's Island, it's like, it's kind of harder to like harass people on a daily basis, like I used to do, like knock on people's doors and like and say, hey, what's up? When are we doing this? So
yeah.
But go ahead. So your Kickstarter, how many more days you have to this Forbidden #2, right? Issue #2.
Issue #2. Can I share my screen?
Yes, go for it. There you go. There you go.
So there it is. There's Forbidden. So it's 10 days left on the campaign. We're at 33 backers, 17 backers away from
awesome.
the second stretch goal. We already made the first stretch goal, which was a 25 backer goal. So I used backer numbers rather than monetary number.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically that cover right there was done by a fantastic gaming and fantasy artist named Eric Ifata.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
he did. Ask you.
Yeah, so it's a wraparound cover. That's the good side. And there's the bad guy cover, and it's for the graphic novel. So the graphic novel is 168 pages. So
wow.
So this issue right here, issue #1, is 27 pages.
All right. And this is #1. So what was the other one? Was that like a zero?
It was 0. That was launched on Indiegogo. That was
wow with your image tactics.
You know me, man. That's It's so issue 0 was launched on Indiegogo successfully, and
yeah, that was great.
And then the feedback was bring it to Kickstarter, so I did.
And the artwork was great. That was Annabelle, right?
Yes. So the artwork is by Anibal Arroyo. So here's some sample pages.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Anibal is just made for this style of art.
For real.
And this is the sample pages for this current issue #1. And then these are the covers of issue 0. So issue 0 is available in this campaign as well. So if you didn't get issue 1, you can get issue 0 for $5 as a digital copy. If you just want to test it out and see whether or not you want to commit to anything else. And then these are the covers for issue #1. That's the standard cover. This is the gold cover that I did. And this is the sketch cover by Anibal Arroyo.
Right.
And cool. Then this cover is no longer available. It was only available on day 1.
I hope I have that one because I donated day 1, so I want that cover. I want exclusive. Jonathan's too much. He's like, they better recognize, right?
They better recognize. I'm gonna recognize you, all right. Stop looking in my window. So
this is great.
So
hey, the numbers are increasing. We got 4 now. Yay! There we go. I think I just went back to 3.
You get them out. Like, get out. So so you can get the digital edition 0 for I believe $5, or you can get the $10 issue 0 and 1 digital edition for $10. Again, if we make 50 backers, that digital level at $10, we'll get the card, which I'll show you in a second.
I mean, you guys are really bold. I mean, you guys, you and Anibal and George and John, the way you guys just keep cranking this out, it's just pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think the big thing is consistency, because what happens is out of sight, out of mind, and if you're not consistent, people are gonna forget you. I mean, we're in a time where limited attention span, and people move on quickly. So if we don't stay relevant, we won't be
Very
paying.
true. I mean, what's crippled me, I got rid of my Netflix, I got rid of my Amazon account, and then what's crippling me now is that this guy gave me this cracked Roku stick, and I can virtually watch anything, and it's like poison to me because I'm like stuck on the TV.
Oh no,
Watching all these shows, I was like, why?
I don't watch any TV.
Yeah.
But I
That's
watch
what I used to do.
when I'm watching anything, it's when I'm working out. I have it on my iPad and I'm working out, so I'm really listening to it. I'm not
Yeah,
actually
yeah. That's what I
because
used to do. Yeah.
yeah,
There's no time for that.
no, I'm constantly cranking stuff.
Mhm.
So then you have the $15 where you can get the issue 0
Mhm.
physical, and then you can get the digital issue 0 and 1, plus you get the sticker and your name of the book, and it go. So I made a tier as low as $5 all the way up to $500 for original art. So you can get the gold cover of issue 1 in the
Is
standard.
it gold metallic, like like old school, like the foil type thing, or is it?
Like this is a gold cover here, and then when
Let me blow you up real quick. Let's see where you at. Whoops, hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see this gold cover. Hold on. What's going on? Trying to drag you into the center is not working.
your tech support. Hold on a second. Let me go. Let me do. Let me stop screen. There.
There you go. There you go.
Hooked you up, Brad.
There we go. Nice. I like that. So is that like a reflective plastic type thing?
No, I have the classic on, but here, boom. Look at that.
No, yeah, no. I see. Yeah. So what is that cover made of? Is it gold paper or is it like?
Yeah, it's like gold foil.
Yeah, very cool, man.
Yeah. So
Where'd you do that? What company did that with you?
somebody named Kane. Some JD Calderon has the information. He's the one who hooked me up.
Oh, he's the man. Wasn't he like an accountant for printers and stuff like that?
JD is everything. He does everything. Yeah, so then you can get the gold edition for $50, which comes with both covers, issue 0 and issue 1, gold, plus the bookmark, plus the sticker, plus the poster, plus the digital sketchbook, plus the digitals, plus your name of the book. So you get all this stuff, and you can go all the way up to it gets higher and higher, and with the shirts involved in the bundles. Like this is the complete bundle where you get all this.
Share the screen again so we can look at it.
I bet. Share screen. Yes. Don't show these tips again.
There you go. Let's add this up again.
Yeah. So like you get all this for $200. So you get the gold issues 0 and 1, plus the regular cover of 1, the sketch cover of 1, the exclusive T-shirt, the 2 pinups, which is the evil poster plus the Shaku poster. You get the trading card, a commission sketch card, the sit-in area sticker, the Deseret sticker, the bookmark, the digital PDF, and your name of the book.
So what do you have to donate to get the DNA of the creators?
And then you can get every cover for issues 0 and 1, all the variants, the holofoils, gold. Yeah, you get a commission sketch cover, and a commission sketch card, plus the T-shirts, plus the posters, plus the bookmarks, plus the trading cards. All that stuff there. You can get the full package deal if you're a true collector of Forbidden. Or for me, $20, you can get the homage to Doctor Strange. $20 with a certificate of authenticity, signed and numbered, limited to 100 copies. And you get that with your name of the book, plus the Sin and Arius sticker. Or you can collect all of Sam's covers. And for $30, you get that.
You got like 6 covers?
I did 4 covers for this issue, but one of them is not available. It was only available on day 1.
Yeah, that was the gold one, right?
So you'll be able to get that cover when the campaign's over from my website, but you won't be able to get it anymore from the campaign.
Right.
And then, or you can collect the covers by Anibal Arroyo with the bookmark and the original print. Not original. I mean, you get a physical print of the black and white of this cover.
Very cool.
Anibal. And then for retailers, and we have a retailer in California. Thank you so much. That got a retail special. So if you get 10 copies of number 1, you'll get a signed homage cover with a certificate of authenticity for your store.
Yeah.
And retailers, if you decide you don't want 10 copies, but I want 5 of 0 and 5 of 1, still get the homage cover with the certificate of authenticity as a thank you for your store. So for $50, the retailers, they get 5 of each. They got it. And then this year we had a live sketch off. And so we did a live show, and we did 12 sketches, me and Anibal. George was the moderator. And all those sketches, original sketch art, you can have for $350 with the 2 covers. So if you want to see what the sketch art looks like, go to Catch the Craze on YouTube, and you can see the video. We'll be posting the art very soon. We're just tightening up from the sketches.
Wicked.
And then you can know 11 by 17 framed pencil page by Anibal Arroyo right here for $500 with the cover and with the book. This here was never seen print. This was the first concept design that I did back in 2000, 11 by 17 original pencils when I first conceptualized Forbidden. So it's never going to be in a book. It was just my way of designing the world.
Oh, you heard that?
I'm going to get an artist for this. What is it, a hurricane?
I just felt like a light. It was like, boom. It's like Thor slammed his hammer on the ground.
Yeah, so you can get all this 11 by 17 original pencil page by me.
Oh yeah, $500. Original page for $500.
Original pencil page for $500. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Or you can own the original 11 by 17 pencils of David Keeler's cover for Forbidden, framed for $500. And then this one's already sold, 11 by 17.
So you're not doing prints of the pencil covers as an incentive. You're just doing the original.
Well, I'm only selling 4 original pages. And this is an original cover from issue 0 by Anibal Arroyo. Someone already claimed this one. That's already sold. And then we have the add-ons. We have the Area sticker. We have the Deseret bookmark, the Shaku poster, the Good Guy poster, the holofoil cover by David Quiles, the Forbidden sketch cover, the sketchbook, commission sketch card, the graphic tee, and the exclusive collector's card, which is the Great Race, the race. And so here is the card that you get if we get to 50 backers. Everybody $10 or more will get this card, which is the Darkness card. So we're trying to unlock that. This one's already been unlocked. This was a digital print, 11 by 17. So that one's already unlocked. And that's the crew. Me, Anibal Arroyo, George Medina, the letterer. David Keeler did the variant cover. Eric Ifata did the graphic novel covers, which are now posters right now. And then Barbara Saragi is the colorist, and she's killing.
You said Fata or Fatwa?
Ifata.
Ifata. Okay.
Yeah, Ifata. Yeah. So.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so we're trying to get to 50 backers.
You 4 people that are watching, back it up.
Yeah, so that's when I first launched it back in 2006.
Right.
We received a lot of great reviews from critics, and then but I only did issue 0 and 1 back then, and then I left the game. And then when I decided to come back into comics 2 years ago, I finished the story, and the entire book is completed. The only thing that's happening right now is that Barbara's coloring the entire 168 pages. So she's up to like page 75. Yeah, she's at 75 right now. And so this Kickstarter pays for her, the coloring,
right,
and for the production of this. And the more that we make on this Kickstarter, I can pay her to complete the entire series from this campaign. And then the next campaign will be the graphic novel. Or if we don't generate enough, then I'll just launch issue 3 as the next campaign. And so my goal is to get the whole thing finished, so I could do the graphic novel. And but it's going to be collected, both soft and hardcover.
Hardcover, really?
Yeah, my goal. The graphic novel is 168 pages of story, but it's going to be on nearly 200 pages because it's going to have original concept art, character bios. It's going to have the world maps, everything. So it's going to be a real the hardcover is going to be a real good collector's gem. The soft cover is not going to have that. The soft cover is just going to be the 168 pages. The hardcover is going to be the true collector's gem.
Right. That's awesome, man. That's wicked.
Yeah. So again, the goal, if I can get it into as many people's hands as possible, that's going to be great. That's more important to me than anything. And
yeah, I mean, it's all about getting that new audience, right? About getting the new viewers to look at your stuff, to like really,
yeah.
That's important. Yeah, that's the same thing about the shows. It's like the shows make money, but it's not. It's really about getting your book into people's hands and new people. You appreciate those who've collected and supported you all along.
Yes.
It's really getting those new folks, those new faces in front of you to.
Yeah, it's just like with Catch the Crazies. I mean, Catch the Crazies, is a whole new project that was created a year ago, and we've already established a fan base. I mean, we have several people in Hawaii that's ordered the books outside of the campaign. We have people in Michigan, in Nebraska. So now I'm hoping that those same people will take a chance with Forbidden. So it's like because it's two different tastes, it's two different genres, but hopefully because I'm trying to build. One of the things that I focused on for many years was Crazy Comics. Wasn't necessarily Sam the artist, Sam the writer. It was really the branding of the Crazy Comics, and I was the face of the brand, but I wasn't. So really, now my focus is really to build a following of my work, not the brand, because I'm an extension of the brand. The brand is just that LLC. It's there just for legal purposes.
Yes.
But for me, it's really about me building a fan base on me as a creator, as a writer, as an artist, and so that's what my focus has been now. And I'm hoping to build a fan base around this.
Absolutely. That's amazing. Well, let's see how many people watch this tomorrow when they wake up.
So if you're at that truck stop in Minnesota, Billy Bob, give us a chance.
We got 4 people watching live. Okay.
Honk twice if you're down for Forbidden.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm here for you, man. I'm here to support you. When you're done with your tour, you can come back around. If you don't, you got to duck your colorist and move to Texas. I understand. It's like,
moving to Texas. It's that's another thing that's gonna delay certain things because for at least 30 to 45 days because between moving, unpacking, selling this house, all the meetings and walkthroughs and contracts and all that other stuff, it's going to be a minute. So that's why we're doing 4 shows tomorrow night. I mean, Monday, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night, because those shows are August, September shows, and so that way every week it's just already populated. Because I'm gonna take a couple weeks off.
You're basically prepping for your weekly ahead. You're in advance. It's great.
Yes, because I won't be able to do any of that stuff. I won't even be able to draw. So, EternaCon is the last show that I'm doing this year. And good thing about EternaCon, on Sunday I will be on a panel with the Comic Book School with Buddy Scalera and a crew doing character and world building, creating characters, and I'll be illustrating with a couple of artists on a live panel, taking feedback from the audience as we design characters from scratch. So that's going to be cool. And then I'm doing a virtual con with Ambient Con. I'm doing a podcasting panel with them, and so you can get a discount with Ambient Con to their virtual con and just use code CDC 4321 CDC 4321 and you'll get a discount to the weekend event at Ambient Con.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you seen any of the panels on San Diego at home?
No.
I was up to 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:45 a.m. I watched 4 panels. It was actually some of them pretty good.
Going on now?
Yeah, they're going on now this whole week. The last
San Diego Comic Con?
Yeah. San Diego Comic Con.
I think we're doing it in November.
Now it's called At Home. What they're doing in November is the LA show.
Oh.
They're doing a show at LA that's going to be in person. and I think there's another one in San Francisco that they might be doing.
Oh.
But their at home is this past week. I saw the Spirit panel, of course, because I love the Spirit. And then they had a diversity panel, which was really good. A lot of the folks that you usually see, the regulars in the Black Comic Con here in Harlem. And then you have there was a Superman panel with all the Superman writers and Grant Morrison, and of course I watched the awards. What I find interesting about the awards every year, you've been to Comic Con, but it's like the award ceremony, right? It's like all the books that we grew up liking and emulate. Those are not the books getting the awards.
Of course,
I find funny. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
It's like it's more of an international field. I mean, there's a lot of Americans that do get the books, and some international, but a lot of the indie guys like Adrian Tomei like scooped up like 4 awards, like he's Billie Eilish or something. It's like, and I noticed Craig Yo, he's a regular. He prints a lot of different like Golden Age books and stuff. And he did a book with another author. Well, his publishing company published. Forget the guy's name now, but it was called Invisible Figures. And it's basically about the Black comic book artist, like a history about the artist, the Black artist that did Golden Age comics and stuff. So Yo Books always puts out great stuff. So he's always getting an award. So I realized though, watching it, that the same people kind of get the awards year after year, but it's because they put out really good stuff that doesn't follow the trends of Marvel and DC. But Superman and the Clan got two
right. I think the alternative stuff when you create for you,
yes,
rather than creating for a trend, because right now, if you look at all the stuff that comes out of Image, a lot of it, the color palettes look the same,
right?
The style of art looks the same. Everything,
the orange, the purple,
so like every publisher has this look.
Yeah,
that it's almost as if they're looking to fit this criteria.
Watchmen, that's what I was like.
Right. So I think that's the
that's what they're doing. They're imitating Watchmen.
Yeah. So that's what so everyone has their thing. I think what's going to allow you to break away is try not to fit in anybody's niche, and try to create your own path. But not with the intent of creating your own path, creating for yourself because you love what you're doing, and then hopefully everybody else will embrace what you've done because you put nothing but your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're creating because you're looking for a fast buck and you just want to get on that gravy train that everybody else is doing, it's going to be a short lived. But if you're creating from your heart, I think people will recognize that. And but it just doesn't end with the creation. You also have to become your own marketing person, a business person, and you have to pimp yourself. So you have to be the pimp and the walker at the same time.
And even if you have a publisher, you have to do that, because I called like freaking ridiculous amount of stores, like 4 different states stores for the Trump book, and still, you still have to be out there doing it.
That's the hustle. And you got to understand that first couple of years you're going to take a loss. The first couple of years, if you're looking at the long game, know that the first couple of years is going to be, there's going to be a lot of lows more than highs. And you got to do that work, and you got to make some sacrifices and make some exceptions. Like if you're trying to get it to the store's hands yourself, you're gonna take a hit to your pockets. If you're only selling it through your website, you're limited in exposure. So there's a lot of things you have to consider. And if you really want to push it, then that means you need to have a certain budget for marketing.
Absolutely. And I say that stop buying DC and Marvel stuff. Stop buying the name brand stuff. Start investing in yourself. I shop at Walmart. That's my name brand.
I haven't picked up a Marvel or DC book in over 12 years.
Yeah.
I pick up indies, and outside, the only thing in Image that I pick up is Spawn. But when I go to a comic shop, and I usually go I only go about once a month, I look for all the random stuff that I've never heard of. These newbies that come out of nowhere. The only unfortunate part of it, sometimes it's a one shot. You don't hear from them again. And they got a break and they got it distributed, but then they didn't come back.
Right.
So that's the risk of being an indie, supporting indies. But anytime I go, and because I do it, I feature them on What's in the Box. So I'll go and find something that I've never heard of, and I'll go feature it on the show, and give that person some exposure. I think
And that's happened a lot throughout the independent comic books history. Like even people who got distributed through Diamond, they'll have like a one-shot book or a book that they only do the first issue. Like, I mean, Melvin, rest in peace. He was like pimping that #1 issue for like almost 20 years. He had 2 and 3, but he just didn't print it. Now it's like,
yeah, that's the it's crazy. Is I've been out of the game for a long time, and I just did ZoloCon, which is my first real show in a long time, and I have over 100 graphic novels, copies of Disney and My Toilet, the graphic novel, that's been in boxes in my basement. So I said, let me take about 20 with me. It was flying off the table, and I was like, and I haven't even promoted it since I've been back.
Right.
That's the Crazies of Forbidden, and I had it on the table. And not only that, they were also buying my original art of Disney and My Toilet, and I was like, wow. So people are recognizing the appeal of this character.
Absolutely.
And they're taking a chance on it. And it's a $20 graphic novel. And they were just, all right, give it to me. Give it to me. And it was just flying off the table. And that was an aha moment for me. And I was like, you know what? Then a father come, because the father bought it, and his daughter, she's about 12 years old. And he had 2 daughters. And the daughter is schooling me on why I should take Disney and My Toilet onto Webtoons.
You should.
Yes.
You should.
So I'm doing it. So she's sitting there. She's educating me on the growth potential of my property, and she's 12 years old.
Yeah.
So, but the key is that she was a young 12-year-old girl that's
telling you where she reads. That's where they go.
I was like, because he's been sitting there, because I've been promoting 2 other books, and I was like, I'm not going to. I don't want to confuse. I'm trying to build an audience. I don't want to confuse everybody by throwing everything at once. That's like. So when she said that, I was like, oh, here's a medium that I can go on my leisure and then have a schedule and post the new pages, the new clips, and
breaking them up
without
1 issue and make it into 4 issues.
Yes, and introduce it and create a whole new following based on this webcomic.
Yes,
because I have 6 issues already completed, so those 6 issues on Webtoons will last over a year.
Yes.
Based on, because it's just panel shots and web balloons and all that stuff. So it's just formatting. It's just restructuring and pulling out the images and all that stuff. So that's one of the first priorities for me when I get to Texas. Is once I set up the studio, is dedicate a day a week just to format my stuff for Webtoons and then create and then have it already there. So that way, every week.
Are you using InDesign for that?
I'm using
or just Photoshop and just chopping it up.
I use Affinity.
Affinity.
Yeah, Affinity Photo.
Okay.
I stopped using Photoshop because of Apple. Every time Apple upgrades the iOS, it makes you have to go and upgrade a lot of your softwares, and it makes the previous versions obsolete. And so it's costly. And then when everybody went to subscriptions, I was like, you know what, Fangu, I'm moving on. And so I was like Affinity.
Wow.
Yeah, Affinity was $30 to own it, $30 or $40 to own it, and it does everything Photoshop does. So I was like, I moved on. I said, I'm done. I'm not playing these games anymore. You guys can have that racket.
It's a total racket. Oh, I
yeah.
Myself.
That's the only reason why I'm up.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's a total racket. But yeah, I think I don't know if you remember Miguel Guerrera. I spoke to him, and he does Webtoons. He has 3 of his books on web. He has Jungle Boy, he has Ghost Metal, and then he has Superheroes Incorporated. But Super Incorporated Heroes, because he couldn't use the superheroes, and DC sent him a cease and desist like me. So yeah. So he has those 3 books, and he was doing a lot of shows here in the U.S., but now he lives in Paris, in France. So now he has his books on Webtoons, and I was looking at that, and he's getting a whole new audience. He has like 700 people on certain books, and even more than that, like on other ones. Like his Ghost Metal one is really popular.
Yeah, and I think so for me, it's just like, all right, how many
That's the
mediums
young generation.
can I use to promote my work?
Yeah.
And because the goal is to eventually just start bringing in income
Mm-hmm.
um when you're sleeping, right? So how do you make money while you're sleeping? So that's my goal. So like one of the biggest things I did was get my online store going, and once I did that, the orders started coming in for my books. I was like, oh, cool.
It's
So
either that or put a gram of cocaine in each book.
So one of the things I do is as soon as I get an order, the same day I get an order, that I get an alert on my phone says, you guys got an order. As soon
Yeah.
as I get it, I'm packaging everything, getting it ready. I print out the label, package it, and I put it on my door for USPS to pick up
Awesome.
same day. So
Awesome.
this way, I treat and one day I got like 5 orders, and I was like, all right, I had to stop what I was doing. I said, and one guy was in Hawaii. He's like, where's your store? I said, I don't have a store. I'm the creator. You're buying directly from me. He's like, I'm so impressed. He goes, within an hour, I got a tracking number. And it was already done. I never got that from regular stores. And then when I got it, you package it so impeccably. He goes, I'm recommending you to all my friends. And so,
Just it works.
yeah, so for me, and it's because of my retail background, it's like
Yeah, of course.
elevated customer service, and I worked in luxury retail. You want to make sure that
Did you
that
spray the
person
coconut
right
on the box? Like
now, yeah, that person is the most important person at that moment, and you want to make sure that
absolutely.
you take care of them.
No,
Uh,
that's true. Everything has to be like work like clockwork. So
yeah,
true.
so I will stop whatever I'm doing once I see an order come in. It's like, all right, stop. Let me get that shit out of the way
Yeah.
at the door. I don't
I
have
was
to worry
actually
about it.
managing Clayton Patterson's stuff. He's a photographer, um, an artist, and I'm actually have to play catch up now. He has a new book. I have to promote that. So he's a 73-year-old artist. He's at the age where he's cranking it out, but I'm giving him a hand. He can't do everything because he has a lot of things at that age.
Right.
I'm helping him out, and I've learned a lot by managing his stuff. Like he has international sales. We're selling like hats and books and like novels and photo books.
Right.
And I learned a lot. Like, wow, this guy is getting like serious. He's had at least in the last 8 months like 255 orders, and I'm just blown
Nice.
away. Like how 73-year-old. So he's doing exactly what you're doing. He has his own podcast. He's making moves. He's networking. And this guy is like one foot in the grave and still doing that. He has a show coming out in the MoMA.
Nice.
He had like 2 gallery shows before that. And we did a street fair together. And the zine fair that we both made out like gangbusters. Like I made more money in the street fair than I did in like 2 days in New York Comic Con. That's like more
Oh,
money than I did in San Diego.
New York Comic Con, they turned me down for Artist Alley and wanted to sell me small press. I said, no, that's okay.
They did the same thing to me.
I was like, no, I said, I'm good. I'm good. I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that show anytime soon.
Yeah.
And so for me, and so ZoloCon was just a happy accident, because Terrific Con was out of my budget, so I had a specific budget for the year. And
honestly, I like the guys who run Terrificon, but people are there to gamble or see celebrities. No one's going to a casino for comics. I'll just tell you that, unless it's like cheap back issues like dollar books or whatever.
yeah, so I was like, it looked like it's a big event, so I was like, you know what, I don't have the budget for it.
It's huge.
And then I just saw ZoloCon. I was like, I never heard of this, and I looked at it. It's a collector's show, but that had an artist alley. So it was primarily toys, but they had an artist alley. So I was like,
They do. They have
you know what? I said, you know what? Forget
people
this.
walk around it. They don't walk into it.
Yeah, no. That so I was like, all right, it's a gamble. Let's go. I went there. The setup was beautifully. They knew who I was when I got there. They took me directly to my table, which is so they have this round pillar, and all the artists was on the round pillar. So when you walk around, as many times as you walk, you're gonna walk into everybody. And then not only that, so you have 2 aisles coming from this side, and I also had a straight line to my table from another aisle. And I made back the hotel, the table, the cost of the printing of the banners. I was like, wow, and it was just by accident that I did that show and made a lot of great connections. And it's a show that I was like, it reminded me of when we used to do Big Apple back in the days, and we used to be mobbed at our table. That's
Right,
what it
right.
reminded me of, where people were appreciating the books and they constantly. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, oh
Did
man.
you do the Big Apple this year or no?
Nah, it was they were charging $600 for a table. It was just too much for me.
That was a fella that I was supposed to have him on, Carbonaro on here, and then he gave me his card. I mean, I'll make fun of him because he's a nice guy, but he gave me his card and I called it and the number was disconnected. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, if he was charging $3 for the table, I would have done it. But 600, well, I said not for
600, no.
not for
Yeah, too much.
That's what New York Comic Con is charging for their art gallery table.
Exactly.
I was like, so for me, and again, see, I've been a brokepreneur since December 5th. So this I only had a specific budget for the year for 4 conventions, and
well, that's the thing. It's like, you've done business classes and courses, and I did a lot of grant stuff. And I remember consulting with these guys who are accountants for a grant, the Bloomberg grant, and they told me, they looked at my numbers and they were like, "Why are you doing these conventions? You're losing money every year." And I remember that year I lost $100,000 in conventions, and I'm just like,
"How $100,000?"
Well, yeah, because that was in my 10th year of selling my book. That's 2010. So you think about from 2000 to 2010 of just doing shows, my budget was an average of $10,000 a year.
Oh no, you said in a year. I didn't know if it was 10.
No, I meant that year. Like I just showed him. I showed him my records. Like I showed him my financials. So from 2010, he looked at 2000, and he was like, "You spent $100,000 just doing conventions? How much did you make each year? Did you make that 10,000 back?" And really, at that time, no. When you're starting out, no. Like midway, I was making money, but I wasn't making it. I wasn't breaking even until I would say 2011,
right,
to 2016 was the juicy part, and then it dried up again. And now COVID. So it's not really profit. It's good to get an audience and to get that exposure, but at the same time, you're really that's not really the way to do it. The shows.
No, you have to play it smart. I think number one, you have to create a budget that's realistic, and stick to the budget. I think what happens in independence, you eat with your eyes, right? You take on more than you can. You have your aspirations take over reality, right? So he's like, I'm gonna do New York Comic Con, and I'm gonna spend $600 for the table, and then I gotta make sure that I have 500 books. So that's gonna cost me $1,500. I also gotta have posters, and I have to have a banner, and I have to have a tablecloth, and I'm also gonna go buy an ad, right? And you're already $5,000 in.
Yeah.
And so now you're an unknown in an artist alley competing with professional artists,
right,
that have lines,
right,
and you're probably going to make a couple $100.
Exactly.
Right. And so now you're like, what the fudge? But then you're going to go and post on social media. It was the greatest event of my life. Right.
Right. Of course.
You're going to post the fact that you just got your butt kicked. Yes. Exactly. You get your butt kicked by your wife, because she's like, yo, where's my money? And Anibal, what's up? So you know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes people are not realistic. So for me now, it's about everyone's like, you gotta do Terrificon. Oh yeah, that's all I kept hearing. You gotta do Terrificon. It's like, I looked at it as not in my budget. If I do Terrificon, I'm $2,500 in the hole.
I did Terrificon when they gave me free tables, and they gave me free tables for 3 years. And I love the show. It was a great show, but I never, honestly, I just made the money back for the hotel. If I was buying the table, I wouldn't have made the money back.
No, that's what I said. When I looked at it, I was like, I'll be $2,500 in the hole just to attend.
Right.
I said, there's no way me only being back really as a comic book creator a year, because I've been podcasting for the first year. There's no way. I don't have that big following. I'm not going to assume that I'm just going to be something magical is going to happen and all of a sudden it's going to blow up. So I'm a realist. I was like, realistically, I average between, $200 to $600 a show. I'm not going to make that $2,500. So it's not within my best interest to do that show. Let me move on to something else. ZoloCon It was $150 for the table. Normally it was 200, but they lowered it to 150. I bought it. The hotel was 100 because I got them to lower the cost because they gave us a horrible room, and um, and then the cost of the banner and the postcards to advertise all that stuff, and I made it all back because it was a safe bet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was a safe bet. I wasn't biting off more than I can chew. And so the only gamble I was going to take was going to be on New York Comic Con this year. And so they did me a favor by saying, no, we're not going to give you Artist Alley, but we can give you small press. I said, well, you can have small press because I'm out.
Right. And it's funny, and I told them that too. I said, you got like big actors. I'm not going to like shout out any actors that I ever respect for, but a lot of these big actors and musicians that are not on the bill, like in the section with that where they signed their stuff. They're not the ones they're getting into Artist Alley. A lot of these bigger artists get into Artist Alley, and Artist Alley was always for indies. I'm sorry, but if you work for DC or Marvel, why aren't you at their booth? And if they're not promoting you, then why are you drawing their crap? Why don't you promote your own stuff?
Right. They're giving the pros the tables rather than the indies.
Right. It's like I love Alita E. Martinez. She drew like Iron Man and Thor, everything. She drew like tons of stuff. DC. She did Barbie. She did every Archie, the Red Circle. But when you see her at a show, she does not promote any of their stuff. She promotes only her stuff, and that makes sense. If you're an employee of these companies and they're not putting you at the table to do signings and all that stuff, why would you promote them? Promote your own stuff.
Right.
And that's the way to do it. Be creative.
Yeah. So that'd be my, and again, those big shows that they're going where the money is, and we're a risky gamble, and we're not a draw, so they're going to go with the ones that are draws. So what happened was they infiltrated
the Bronx Heroes Con. So many people came in. Do you know how many people got jobs at the Bronx Heroes Con? Like they just came in as vendors, and they got one girl became a colorist for like Power Rangers, and people got gigs through my indie show because there was nobody really huge there. I had like Don McGregor and some other guys like old school guys, like Jim Salicrup and whatever, and Danny Fingeroff and stuff. So people came for them too. So they didn't come for those guys, but people, because the independents were the main thing, people got opportunities from those shows. And that's why I really, have done it. I've done those shows. It's not a very profitable show to do, but I enjoy doing them because it's really a networking party. That's how I see it. It's really a networking.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna do San Diego or New York Comic Con, it's really to George and I was talking about it because George like if he does, George like if he does the big show, he wants to have like interns or at the table doing the selling of the books, and he wants to go out and network. And I thought that was a smart idea because really, as an unknown, if you're gonna invest, I'd rather just invest in a pro badge and go around and network than try to then blow a couple of grand and not even make half of that back, because it's always overcrowded, and people are constantly moving to get to their favorite artist or to celebrity, and you're lucky when you can get somebody to stop at your table in those crowded arenas.
Absolutely.
Use it to go to the panels and meet and network and make connections. I think those big shows are for connecting. At the smaller shows is where you're going to make your bones. It's where you're going to build your audience. It's where you're going to connect with the locals. So I'm more interested in doing local, smaller shows that I know that I can walk away in the black instead of in the red.
Right, exactly. So Q&A is beginning now. So if anyone, we got 5 people on. We have 2 people on Twitch and a bunch of guys on Facebook, and we got YouTube. So if you guys have questions for Sam Vera, anything about his Kickstarter, anything about his techniques of how his success. Well, we're gonna wait for that book, Sam. Your how to be successful in comics. And
I'm still working on that part. I'm still working on that part.
Honestly, I find that I'm successful enough. I mean, they know the old saying is "Don't quit your day job."
Right.
But I mean, I find it fulfilling. I feel that I do it for me, like you were saying. Like I'm. I would say this is a glorified hobby. That this is a tax deductible hobby. It's like, you know what I mean. It's like I file my taxes. You know, but I mean, I enjoy doing it. I mean, the last book I did, the Trump book with Tom, it was in 29 countries. I mean, did we make a ton of money? No. If I did shows, if I promoted it myself, would I made more money? If I did a Kickstarter, probably, you know. But like you said, it's a lesson learned. You're gonna have a lot of failures before your successes, and
Yeah.
you're right. The next thing is just to get another publisher, put out another book. And that takes out the legs in a lot of ways from having to gives us more time to be more creative, when you have those things.
And that's the goal for me. It's I don't want to be a publisher. My goal is to build an audience and a demand enough that a publisher would come and say, "Hey, we want to take this to the next level."
Hmm.
Boom! I can just focus on creating, and someone else is worrying about all that other stuff.
Right, exactly.
But in the meantime, I have to worry about all that other stuff. So I
Right.
have to be the agent, the PR person, the IT
Right.
person.
Which is good to have anyway. It's good to know that, and you don't want to be the guy like drawing behind the table and not
No, you
interacting.
wanna be able to talk the talk. You have to
Right.
understand the terms, you have to understand how the business works. Um,
Absolutely.
so it is a great, education,
Mhm.
but it takes away from what your passion from creating.
That's
So the
correct.
good thing for me is that Forbidden's done. 168-page project is completely done. The good thing
Right.
for me is that we already have 3 books in the pipeline for Cast the Crazies.
Right.
There's an Alien in My Toilet, 6 issues are done on that.
Hmm.
So I have a breadth of a body of
Hmm.
work that I can
Hmm.
produce consecutively. Uh,
Right.
so I'm not chasing my tail.
Right.
I finished a short story prose, 68-page short story, uh,
Hmm.
and that I've been promoting at ZoloCon, and it did pretty well. So I have that. It's a completed project. I have
Right.
7 kids books that are completed and available for purchase on my website. So
Let me
it
ask you about the kids' books.
uh,
Now, I've been trying to crack that nut, but in my brain, I'm just like, that's for kids. I mean, the Bronx Heroes is kind of for kids, but yeah, it's like really like middle school, high school. Your stuff is like really, truly for like children. Like, what was some of the hurdles you had to overcome to like break down to get to that level to say, I'm going to do this book? Like, what was the main incentive that
um,
got you to?
I'm just a big kid at heart, and for me, what got
Mhm.
me into storytelling was all the things that I grew up with: the Sesame Street, Fraggle Rock, Jim Henson, the Dark Crystal, the Never Ending Story, all these things when I was a kid, Saturday morning cartoons. So I believe that it's why Disney's so amazing. They create these amazing timeless stories, and so by nature, I create fun, all ages projects. There's an Alien in My Toilet. I have The Adventures of Cosmic Gorf. I have Duty's Adventures. I have Mandy Pandy. I have Scary Airy. I have the Oogly Booglies. So I have all these young, because I think when you get the kids
Mhm.
um, to use their imagination through reading and
Mhm.
storytelling,
Mhm.
um, it's those that become the future innovators. And
Absolutely.
I just love storytelling. Forbidden is a different genre for me, but
Mhm.
and Forbidden came from a whole different area. But um, one of the things is like Forbidden is not the art, my strength as far as illustration.
Right, right.
So, which is why I knew my limits as an artist for
Mhm.
Forbidden, which is why I saw that Anibal was the artist, and then Eric Ifata. But the
But
kids,
then you, as a writer, you get to like really throw it out there and challenge them. Like, can they draw this? Let's say if they
oh
draw
well, I
this
wrote it for
scene.
me, and
Yeah.
then so the great thing about it is that I had fearless artists in like Anibal and Eric Primat Santra. They were both fearless, and the world building didn't scare them. You know what I
Mm.
mean? They tackled it. I think Forbidden brought out the best in Anibal, and
Yeah, yeah. Oh, his
and
art, amazing.
and then Primate Santra complimented it. I mean, he took it to. Oh, I mean, when you see when you guys will see that in issue 2 campaign, well, you'll start seeing the new artists. Some of these epic battle scenes are just crazy that he was able to take what I wrote and put it on paper. And sometimes I'm standing there, I'm like, wow, this guy really killed it. So,
Right, right,
um,
right.
but that style is not my strength. My style is the cartoony stuff. That's my strength.
Right,
And so I understand which sandbox I need to play in.
right.
But as a creator, I also understand pacing, camera angles, all that stuff, and what's gonna complement the writing. So
Right.
I'm an artist writing, a writer who's an artist writing. So I was when I was writing it to challenge my weaknesses as
That's
well.
clever. I like that. I like that. That's a good approach. So, for any aspiring writers, I see we have some writers here and some artists that are following us right now on Facebook. What would you say to some of these writers that are trying to get their first comic in? What's the major hurdle that you had to overcome, or how did you to actually make it happen? Like you got the work, you're doing the writing. Like, what's the next step to get into publishing it? What's that hurdle to jump over and say, I'm going to publish this? It's been sitting there. I got this. Let's do it.
I think, but there's a couple of things. I think first, number one, make sure it's a completed project. Make sure it's finished. Um, and number two, it's find the right artist to complement your story. You're not, and if you don't have the budget, you're not going to get the pro. But find somebody who's going to be able to complement the story
Mhm.
and not, don't settle.
Hmm.
Don't settle because the person, really interview the person. Make sure make sure they read it. Are you good with the story? Were you good with with the image? You understand what I'm asking for in these scenes? Because what the worst thing that can happen is you find an artist, they take on the project, but then they start leaving things out. Well, I don't draw horses, or I don't draw this. What do you mean? But that horse is a prime. It needs to be in the scene, right? So you got to make sure you get an artist that's not is fearless. Number one, um,
Right.
and then as a writer, the
It's funny.
biggest
I'm laughing because there was an artist years ago that told me I don't draw horses or I don't
yeah,
draw cars.
it happens.
I was like,
So,
well, you're an artist. You should be able to draw anything.
and as a writer, don't pretend to be the artist.
Right, right, right,
That's
right,
the biggest mistake that writers who are not artists make, right?
right,
So
right,
they tend to be the artist and they want to dictate everything, and so what happens is then they wind up with a half project because the artist walks away.
right,
Right?
right, right.
So you have to have
Very true.
confidence. If you found the right person, the one thing I would say is make sure that the artist shows you drafts, like thumbnails.
Right,
Just thumbnails. This is where you have your your conversations. Oh, I
right,
like this angle, but can you turn the camera? I was calling for a worm's eye view, not a bird's eye view. Whatever it is, have those conversations during the
right,
thumbnail.
right.
But when he goes to finals, let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Don't go in there. I want to see every page first before you ink it. I want to do this. No, do that with the thumbnails, and then let the artist be the artist.
Right.
Because
Yeah, it's true.
there's
As an
nobody
artist
who's
and a
yeah.
writer, sometimes, like I was just telling Trevor when I was in California last week, I was like, man, I want you to create the rift. And he was like, what's the rift? And I was like, this void. I said, think Doctor Strange or Jack Kirby's Space, like 2001 Space Odyssey, and sent him some sample images. And he looked at it, he's like, I don't feel inspired by these. And I'm like, well, all you do is draw what you see. They kind of like rip it. He was like, oh, I'm not doing that. So
Yeah,
it's true. You have to let the artist be the artist. You're right.
you have to, yes, and I think what happens is, you got to remember when you were writing it, no one was up your ass. No one was on your face constantly telling you, no, this doesn't go here, right? So you wrote and you were happy with the product, right? So now you
Yeah.
gave it to the artist. Your time to have that
Mhm.
conversation is doing the thumbnail session,
Right.
and then
It's
after
true.
that, after
It's true.
that, let them
Give them
play.
their freedom.
Yes,
Exactly.
let them play
It's
because
their
they'll
sandbox. So you have to just let them go with it.
because if the artist is happy working on the project, they're going to give you the best work. if the artists feel, if you put so much pressure that they feel it's work, they're gonna be like, you know what, screw you.
Yeah, they're
You know
like,
what I mean? And they're just gonna turn pages that are not gonna have, and you're not gonna see the same, you know.
It's true. It's true. No,
You know,
you're
so
absolutely right, man.
so being an artist, I understand the mindset of an artist. So when I have an artist working on my project, I just look at, I need to see your style with my characters. I want to see what they look like,
Right.
and that's when I'm, you know, want to make sure that they get it as close enough to my character designs as possible, and then they can just run with it. And
Absolutely.
you know, when they in you know, like when I worked with Anibal, he gave me the thumbnails, and we talked through the thumbnails. And there were some concessions I made because he, you know, I was like, he would change up something, and I'm like, hmm, I actually like that angle better, you know, that what he did, because he took the liberty, and you know, I was like, run with it, and he would go and produce these beautiful pages, and
Yeah.
same thing with every artist I've worked with. I think every single one of them would say it's a breath of fresh air working with Sam, because
He lets you
he
do
lets you
whatever.
play.
Yeah.
He lets you play. And I think that's the biggest thing, because you have to respect. If you decided to work with somebody, that means you respect their craft. Then
Absolutely.
show it in the relationship that you've established there, because they will ride and die for you. They'll be like, you know what, I'm in this with you. I want to see this to be a success. I'm going to put in my best work.
Right. Exactly. Like I have a habit of doing like thumbnails, like for a lot of my stories. So I'll basically scan in the pages and say, "This is my idea, but don't be married to it. Don't feel like you must do this and do that." You know.
Right. And I give
Um,
enough information that they understand. Like when anybody takes on a project that is created, they have character designs, character bios, the entire history, the world, so they'll be able to connect the dots and visualize.
right.
And they have all the visual references they need.
Yeah.
So now when they read the script, now they can be an artist, because they're not constantly saying, hey, what color is this, or hey, what is that, or what is this. You know, I gave them that information already.
Right.
And you know, I just think if you're not having fun, then it's not worth it.
What's one of your to do books that you want to do? One of mine is 3D. I want to do a 3D book. What's yours?
It's two, or finish the second volume of Disneyland in my toilet, and write the prose version of Forbidden.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you could even go even deeper into.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
my goal is, and again, I want to see Forbidden do really well. And I'm hoping that I grow the audience for every issue, and um, I'm going to wait till the book's completely finished colored,
Mm-hmm.
and to the fourth Kickstarter campaign before I start distributing it to stores.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the individual, the floppies will go to stores first, and then the last Kickstarter campaign for Forbidden will be for the graphic novel, and that one will go to bookstores. And I'm going to work with a print on demand service that'll be able to fill orders for like the Walmarts and the Targets.
And the printer that you're using, that you said that does the distribution, I had written it down and I forgot. What was it called again? I'm going to write it down for everybody out there who's looking for what's it?
Ingram Sparks.
Ingram Sparks. I got to write that down again. This is a great thing for any of you guys out there. We have 7 people watching right now. You 7, you guys been tuning in. Ingram Sparks, they not only do the publishing, right? They also do like
They do everything. They provide barcodes, ISBN numbers. They do print on demand, and they distribute it to stores
and they're affordable, right?
worldwide. Yeah. So basically, what they do is you just pay for your uh, barcode and ISBN,
Right.
and you format everything, and then what happens is it gets solicited. It goes into the database. So the Barnes and Nobles, anybody that sells books will get it in the database, and they can purchase, and the orders will go through them. They'll print it, ship it, and then quarterly you'll get a quarterly statement with your earnings based on the sales.
And and you found that that was more fulfilling than any other printer you've used in the past that just prints books, right?
Because I'm not in a position to be able to fulfill orders um,
All right.
nation or worldwide from my home. I don't have a team. I don't have the manpower. I don't have the capabilities. So I'd rather
Maybe in Texas you'll meet up with some people, you know,
right.
in the basement of the Alamo. You know, like if I find some people there, you know, it's like
Yeah. So for me, when I go graphic novel in the barcode ISBN, it's
right,
easier that way because then I can just go and call up the buyers and
right.
say, "Hey, I'm in the database. Can you check out this book? Can I send you a
Mhm.
digital sample so you can see it?" And then be like, "Oh, you know what? We want to carry it in our stores." Boom. So I can do,
That's
even though
awesome.
it's going to be the network and it goes in those newsletters and all that other stuff. I can
Mhm.
contact the critics at like Goodreads.com. I can contact all these people and say, "Yo,
That's
I'm in the
awesome.
database. Blah blah blah. Can you?"
Do you do Reddit as well? Do you have anything for Reddit?
Yeah, I'm right now I'm on Reddit, I'm on Tumblr, I'm on TikTok, I'm on
Awesome.
Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. I'm everywhere. Anywhere that you can communicate with the public, I'm on. But TikTok's been acting up lately because they're not showing any of my videos now.
Really?
Yeah,
What's up with
I
that?
used to get anywhere between 300 to 700 views of whatever I posted, and
Nice.
the past three that zeros.
Nah, you know what? You gotta change up the algorithm. Are you doing the full show on TikTok or just like a commercial?
Clips. No, TikTok only lets you do 60 seconds.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, that's
So I'm
cool.
only doing clips, and
So make them short and make them 30 and then see, you
I
know.
did. I changed it again. These suckers. I don't know what's
I,
going
I
on.
do like 15-second animations or 10 seconds and do silly shit, you know, but
Yeah.
I've been
So
slacking. Actually, I was working on an animated opening for this show that I fell off, but it's done. It's just about done. It's gonna do like a few more final touches and it'll be complete.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and then I wanted to put that in TikTok, but I was putting bits of it in TikTok, you know. Yeah, so I think you're on the right track, man, and you got people here. If you guys haven't been listening long enough, you just tuned in because we're now at 7. Go to Kickstarter Forbidden. You know, let's make this man's dreams happen. Let's support him. That's how we all grow together. We all we all sweat and work hard and bleed together. Especially if you're an independent or aspiring independent. Um, Forget about Marvel and DC. Throw out that Marvel and DC shirt. Or and there's nothing wrong with liking Marvel and DC, but they're really a corporation and they don't really care about creativity.
No, it's a business, and
Business.
again, if
Mhm.
you're if you are what do you call it? I call it the originals, right? If you're an original,
Mhm.
that means you pave your own path and you
Yeah.
like taking risks and
Mhm.
chances and trying new experiences.
Mhm.
Give Forbidden a shot. Give
Yeah.
Forbidden a shot. Here you'll be pleasantly surprised, and
More satisfying than the stock market.
you can start at the issue 0 digital version for
Right.
$5
Right.
and give it a shot. And
Are you jumping into NFTs at all or no?
I will when I'm settled. I'm working
Okay.
on an NFT for Duty from Disney in my toilet. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so I'm working on that. I'm waiting till I get settled. So this again, the move is put me back on a lot of things I had. Me, I'm very regimented, so
Yes.
I had to push things back. Even the Kickstarter for issue 4 of Cast to Crazy is getting pushed because of this.
Mm.
Um, we were going to launch in September, but we're going to probably towards the end of the year for issue
Right.
4, which is going to
Right.
be the graphic novel.
Right.
For the first volume of Catch the Crazies will be collected. So
Right.
the next campaign will be that. So I have there's going to be 2 campaigns left this year: the Forbidden issue number 2, and Catch the Crazies, the graphic novel.
Right.
And then next year, George has some surprise announcements for
Cool.
for things that he's producing next year, and I'm probably gonna move it to next year. But There's an Alien on My Toilet will be coming to Indiegogo.
Mm.
Uh, uh, so
Does it
you know,
have anything to do with a duck by any chance?
I'm not saying it. You gotta get him on your show. You gotta get him on your show. Stop backing up. All right, stop
Yeah. Right.
backing up. Yes, but yeah, George is working on some stuff behind the scenes. He's in the lab doing his thing. And Anibal's got some project that he's working on behind the scenes. He's been posting videos on his project coming up, and Johnny Boy is working on his prose.
Yeah,
Uh,
Johnny is
yeah,
cranking too,
yeah.
man.
So the crew's working on things, and it's going to be dope. And join us on the 4th. for the live episode number 300. But not only that, aren't you part of the? Aren't you? Yes, on the 4th we have the artist sketch off on the 4th.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I sent them through Messenger. I didn't do the email, but I will do the email too.
Yeah. That's gonna be off chain. So that's a week from now. It'll be in the studio. We're gonna be in the studio. You guys will be on Zoom. I think it's like 8 artists that are joining.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be dope. So awesome. That's gonna be fire. And that'll be the last time the 4 horsemen are in the studio for a minute, unless they all decide one day to come to Texas.
Getting a little tear.
Yeah, no, I know it was rough when I announced it. It was rough. And I finally built the studio of my dreams, and then I had to take everything down. And I was like, oh.
Hey, but you're gonna build a better and bigger one. Before you know it, they'll all be moving to Texas with you.
I know. Yeehaw.
We need more Democrats over there anyway, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you vote, but I'm assuming. It's like.
Yeah, but yeah. So please check out Forbidden, and if you're gonna be in Long Island on the 7th and 8th, come see me in Artist Alley. I'll have copies of Forbidden, Designated in My Toilet, and Catch the Crazies, and I'll also be selling original art there. So and then Ambient Con at the end of the month, I'll be on a podcast panel at Ambient Con. Again, you can get a discount to Ambient Con at CDC. Use the code CDC4321. Yeah. And then also on Sunday, the 8th, I will be on a live panel at Eternal Con with the Comic Book School, Buddy Scalera, with Ari, and a bunch of artists. And we're doing creating relevant characters and using the audience. Yeah, we're using the audience feedback to design the characters. So that's going to be cool. It's about an hour and a half for that panel. And cool. Yeah, so that's what's going on. And then check out Catch the Craze on YouTube. It's Catch the Craze with a D-A, not a T-H-E. And you can find me anywhere at Catch the Craze.
Wicked. Thank you for coming on, man. Apologies again for my little delay because of that. The ceiling was raining inside. It was raining inside my apartment. What's that?
I blame it on the red hair.
Yeah, so it's fading. I gotta do it again.
Yeah, no, but perfectly. Nah, but thank you, Ray. Tomorrow I'll be
anytime, man. Anytime. You just I'm looking forward to August 4th. You guys should tune in, listen to Catch the Craze. They have really great guests. They have really insightful get your meds, right?
Yeah.
Cool stuff on your show. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're signing out. And Sam, if you want to kick back behind, do so. But we're out here. Adios. Sponsor Forbidden #1.
Yes. Let's today. Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Link in the chat.
There you go.